Everybody, welcome to episode 160 of Cameron Sports Podcast. This show is Cameron. I'm back with another brand new episode. This episode is about the 2026 MLB Opening Day. The 2026 season starts this week. I wanted to talk about a little bit of last year. Got a few topics. Give my predictions for the division winners for the 2026 season. World Series favorites and contenders. Can the LA Dodgers possibly three-peat? And also talking about my Atlanta Braves for the 2026 season. Those are today's topics for today's show that I'm going to get into. And let's get right into it. So, first off, like I said, the division winners. I'm going to start with the American League. Starting first with the American League East. Last year, the Toronto Blue Jays won it. Both won 94 games just like the Yankees did, but it's hard. One thing I learned in baseball, I'm more knowledgeable in football, but learning more, watching the game, covering a little bit, and it's definitely hard to repeat it. Success. And I just feel like if the Yankees got that close, I think they could get it this year. I'm going to go with the Yankees. I just trust Aaron Judge, who's arguably the best player in the major leagues, him and Shohei Ohtani, 1A, 1B, 1A, 1AA, whatever. I just think the Yankees will probably edge out the Blue Jays just a little bit. They probably would have last year, but they dipped off just a little bit. But I go on the Yankees to win the American League East. They won 94 games also, only 68 losses. And I got them winning the American League East. For the American League Central, I'm going with the Cleveland Guardians. They finished first last year. It was close. Between, I think, them and the Detroit Tigers. But I'm going to Cleveland Guardians to win the American League Central. They won 88 games with 74 losses. Pretty solid season. The American League West, the Seattle Mariners. Who won it last year, going 90 wins, 72 losses. They made it all the way to American League Conference Series. They had a really great season led by their catcher Kyle O'Reilly, who set the record for most home runs by a catcher in Major League. I think Major League or either Major League or the American Conference, but he set a record for most home runs with over 60. I know some people definitely believe he probably should have been American League MVP or Aaron Judge, but I feel like it could have went either way. Me personally, my vote probably would, because Aaron Judge had another phenomenal year. He had 50-plus home runs himself. And I think because his RBI was higher, or so, maybe that's, the Yankees slightly having a better record than the Mariners. It's hard, but I think if he has another phenomenal season where he hits 50-some home runs, or even let's say he hits 60, I think he definitely deserves it this season. But I got the Mariners winning the American League West. Again, for my American League conferences, the East got the Yankees. The American League West got the Central got the Cleveland Guardians. American League West got the Seattle Mariners. Now on to the National League. First off, the National League East. Now, part of me wants to say my Atlanta Braves. But one thing, even though I'm, more newer covering baseball, talking it, and I haven't been an Atlanta Braves fan as long as a lot of people, especially in the Atlanta area, I pay attention, and the Phillies are a really great team. They made it to the World Series a couple years ago. They made it to the National League Championship Series last year, I believe, until they ran into the Dodgers. And, I just feel like with injuries last year, and we already got injuries this year, I'm getting to that on the last topic of the show. I just feel like the Phillies are just too loaded. I think they'll win it, and it's okay to win it, to be honest. The Braves a few years ago went on a streak where they won the National League East, I believe 6-7 years in a row. It was something like that they won the East. And but we kept besides that year, we won the World Series in 2020 or 2021, one of those two. And yeah, so my goal is, World Series for us. I don't need us to win National League East. As long as we make the playoffs, make a run. Because one thing I learned in major leagues, it's not about how many games you win. It's not winning about winning 100 games or 90 plus. If you get in the playoffs, it's about who's playing the best baseball right then and there. Because I've seen teams win 100 plus games. I remember one season the New York Mets won 100 something games and literally lost because they played in a wild card round. This is back when I think the wild card round was one game, I think. Instead of best of three, it was one game and they lost. That was it. So I got the Phillies in the East, National League, now the National League Central. Oh yeah, I forgot the Phillies. They won 96 games, 66 losses, so they had a really great year. The Brewers, they won the National League Central last year, going with 97 wins, 65 losses, finishing first. The Milwaukee Brewers are a really, really solid team. It wasn't the Phillies that played the Dodgers in the conference finals. The Brewers did. The Phillies played the Dodgers, I believe, in the divisional. But the Brewers came up short, making it to the World Series. Ran into a juggernaut like the Dodgers. I think in the division round or the championship series. I could be wrong, but I'll look into it after the show. But the Brewers are a really good team. They finished with the best record in the National League. I think they finished with really the best record in baseball last year with 97 wins. But I got them repeating as National League Central Division champions this season. And lastly, the National League West by the defending World Series champions, the LA Dodgers. They finished first last year with 93 wins, 69 losses. I definitely don't expect them to get challenged, mate. Could the Padres maybe? I think for a while who's challenging them? I think. I'm trying to remember. I think it was the Padres and who else? Nah, I think some teams were on that trail, but the Dodgers, they were just too good. I just think they're just too loaded. And that's I'm gonna get into more into that in my third topic. But those are my division winners for the National League. With the East, the Phillies, the Central, the Brewers, and the National League West, I got the LA Dodgers. Now off to the second topic, rolling to this. World Series favorites and contenders. I got a list of 10 teams. I'm gonna go in order from 10 to 1. Starting at number 10, I'm going to Cleveland Guardians. Like I said, they won 88 games. Pretty solid team. I think they do have a great shot. I got them at number 10. Number 9, even though I don't like this team because they are known as cheaters, the Houston Astros. But I can't ignore that they are a pretty good organization. They had a pretty solid season last year, making the playoffs. And usually almost every year they are World Series contenders. So I got the Astros at number 9. Number 8, I got the Boston Red Sox. They had a really good season last year making the playoffs. So, like I said, they're a dark horse, potentially, I think, to win the World Series this season. And number 7, I got my Atlanta Braves. I would have them a little higher, but because, like I said, the injuries last year, already the injuries we had before the season even starts this year, yeah, but I think we have a loaded roster, with Spencer Strider, Austin Riley, Chris Sales, and Ronald Acuna Jr., Ozzy. We got Drake Ball. We got a lot of great players returning on this roster that are talented. We got one of the best rosters in all of baseball. It's just injuries that kill us the most. I got the number 7. If we could get healthy, stay healthy, we are definitely World Series contenders. Last year was a hard, bad year for my Atlanta Braves, and it happens. But I hope they can bounce back this season. I got the number 7. Number 6, the Seattle Mariners, coming up short. Making the World Series last year. Played against the Blue Jays. Coming up short in that series. It was a really good series. I got them number 6. I think they got a really good shot. If Kyle Riley can have potentially the type of anywhere from 40 to 50 home runs, I think they'll definitely be contenders this season. And number 5, I got the Milwaukee Brewers. Like I said, really talented roster. They finished with the best record in baseball last year with 97 wins. I think they're definitely contenders for the World Series. Number 4, the Philadelphia Phillies. Like I said, Bryce Harper, that talented roster. The Phillies are in a win now mode. Hopefully they can get it done. If you're a Philly fan, I don't want them to get it done because, like I said, I'm a Braves fan, same division. But they definitely are a loaded team outside of the LA Dodgers. I got Philly number 4. Number 3, the Toronto Blue Jays. The reason I got them over the Phillies because they did push the Dodgers to 7 games in that World Series last season. That was arguably the best World Series I have ever seen. And now, granted, I haven't watched that many World Series, to be honest. Like I said, you know what? As I started this sports podcast, I wanted to cover multiple sports, talk about them. And that right there last season was the best World Series I've seen ever. Scoring 7 games. Both these teams going back to back. I thought the Blue Jays was going to beat the Dodgers. When they was up 3-2, even in Game 7, I thought slick they was. But Yamamoto and Shohei Ohtani stepped up. Them boys balled out and got the win for the Dodgers. But I think Toronto, if they can, like I said, potentially have the season they did last year, they are serious title contenders. Guerrero and that team will be serious World Series title contenders. Number 2, I got the New York Yankees. I know last year the playoffs technically wasn't really their best season, but I think when you got somebody like Aaron Judge on your team, and the Yankees do have a talented roster, I think they have a legit shot. Now, granted, I'm a little worried because in the regular season, Judge has been phenomenal. 60 home runs, 50 home runs, 50 home runs, back-to-back American League MVPs. But when it comes to the playoffs, I haven't really seen him step up as I would see a Shohei Ohtani or players like that. So, but I still think the Yankees, I would love to see the Yankees get back to the World Series and, be more of a threat in the postseason. And number 1, of course, I got the defending champs, the LA Dodgers. This team is loaded, very loaded, top to bottom, loaded. And it did not surprise me they went back-to-back. And, it's really got me thinking, like, when I was writing my notes, I'm like, can the Dodgers really three-peat? Like, can they really? And like I said, that also now leads me to my 3rd topic. Can the LA Dodgers three-peat as World Series champions? And I said, yes, I think they possibly can. And here's why, because of their key players. Their designated hitter / pitcher, arguably the best player in baseball, Shohei Ohtani, a unicorn who does it on both sides of baseball, on defense and offense, hitting 50-plus home runs, striking people out. I think this year he's probably going to pitch more. I know last season he really didn't that much because of his injury, but I think he will be able to pitch more this season and get back to the old Shohei Ohtani we knew. Also, like I said, shortstop Mookie Betts, first baseman Freddie Freeman, who should still be Atlanta Brave, but his old agent messed that up. I almost cussed, sorry. Pitcher Yoshon Yamamoto, he balled out and during the postseason, especially in that World Series. He was really, really good. And those, and I'm probably forgetting a few other players that I have yet to mention for the Dodgers. But that goes to show you how deep this Dodgers team. And granted, it does help that in baseball there's really no cap hit, no cap space, whatever, no salary cap, whatever. And all these players got these real big contracts. So and like I said, I really think they got a legit shot. Now, granted, it's hard, but when you got a roster like this, I wanted to write down no, but I'm not willing to bet that the Dodgers will not, at bare minimum, at least make it to the National League Championship Series. I would be shocked if they don't. I really would. If they lose in the Championship Series to like the Phillies, I think that's the Phillies or the Brewers. Only 2 teams I can maybe challenge them, but really those 2 teams, the Dodgers beat handily. Like, easily, they beat both of them teams last year in the playoffs. So, I just don't know who in the National League besides the Phillies or the Brewers maybe that can beat them. And the only team in the American League that could challenge the Dodgers it possibly is the Blue Jays or the Yankees. And like I said, the Yankees had a bad season, so it might be the Blue Jays because the Blue Jays pushed that same loaded roster to 7 games and was this close of beating them. So, but I think they got a legit shot. If I had to bet, I ain't gonna lie. Outside of injuries, I would bet. Yeah, I'll put my money towards yes. I think the Dodgers can three-peat. And also one last note on this topic. My prediction from the amount of games I think they're gonna win. Like I said, last year they won like 93 games. I think again I'll go over. I'll say about 95, 97. They don't really need to get 100 wins, so I see them getting just about the same amount of wins they had last year, or just a little bit over, like at 95 or at the most 97. And lastly, got to talk about my Atlanta Braves. I already got some injuries going on. Jurickson Profar is out for the season. Hung Sang Kim, outfielder, he's out till May. Pitcher Joey Wentz is out for the season. Pitcher Hudson Waldrop is out till mid-season. Who knows what that'll be. Pitcher Spencer Schwellenbach, he's out till mid-season. And our best pitcher on the team, our reliever or slash starter, Spencer Strider, is gonna be out for a few weeks, so he's not gonna start the season on the roster. He's gonna be out. It sucks. It really does, because I really think this Atlanta Braves team is very, very talented when they are healthy. But I just feel like I just don't want us to get to a bumpy start like last year. Like last year, we was up and down. We'll have some wins, then loss, win, loss. So, and that was because of injuries. Ronald Acuna, was hurt last year, and he was slowly working his way back. Spencer Strider was hurt, slowly working his way back. So, yeah, hopefully if players can stay healthy. Austin Riley, Chris Sales, Ozzie, Ronald Acuna Jr., if those players like that can stay healthy, we got a shot, at least till everybody, Spencer Strider, Spencer Schwellenbach, players like that come back, and we'll now get our rotation better. We'll be fine. Also, like I said, we do have a new manager, Walt Weiss. Like I said, I don't know too much about him, to be honest. I know he was already on the coaching staff last season, and he's now the new manager. I know a lot of Braves fans, some Braves fans are not happy about that, but I must, give him a chance, because like I said, I don't know much about him personally. So, like I said, again, 2025 was a rough year. We finished 4th in the National League East, winning 76 games, 86 losses. It was a real bad year, so bad that we finished behind the Miami Mariners. And Miami usually is horrible. So that shows you how bad it last year was for us if we finished behind the Mariners in the National League East. I get finished behind the Phillies or maybe the Mets. But the Mariners, yeah, that one was rough. Now, 2026, the amount of wins I project for us to win, I want to go like 90, 95, 90, 93, but with the injuries, I'm not sure. It's like, I'm going to go about 87, 88 wins. I think that right there could potentially get us in, in the playoffs, making a wild card, gives us a chance. I'm going to go 87 wins, 88 for my Atlanta Braves. Our opening day game is this Friday in Atlanta at Truist Park. We play the Kansas City Royals. Our starting pitcher will be Chris Sales. So hopefully, like I said, nothing happens to him. He has a solid game. It sucks not having Spencer Strider out there too. But like I said, I'm going to believe in Chris Sales. He's a good player, good pitcher. And let's get out there and get that dub. Like I said, I will try to go to at least a couple Braves games this season. Last season I didn't. The season before that I did. Me and my girlfriend went to a game. But I'm going to try to go to at least, I would hope, 2, maybe 3 games. I'd say at least 2 Atlanta Braves games, maybe 3. I'm going to try to go to. So, but yeah, that's today's episode. Opening day weekend. I hope y'all definitely enjoy. Like I said, this episode I'm recording today, the Yankees and the San Francisco Giants play today to start opening day off. Let's say my Atlanta Braves. If you're an Atlanta Braves fan, play this Friday. 7:30 p.m. at Truist Park against the Kansas City Royals. But yeah, baseball season is here. And also we got USFL season. Shout out to Birmingham Stallions. Go Stallions. I'm also going to be talking some USFL football on this channel, and especially about my Birmingham Stallions. But if you want to touch down with Cam, make sure to click that like, subscribe button, turn on post notifications, helping get to 500 subscribers. As we're chasing greatness, we're going to continue to chase greatness no matter what. I love y'all. Make sure to reference me to anybody you know, friend, family, coworker, anybody. But yeah, I'll catch y'all next time for another episode of Cameron Sports Podcast. This is your host, Cameron Lindsay, and I'm signing out. Take care.